Hi, this is Steve from LZ23 Strength, where we exert ourselves, elevate our health, evolve in mind and body. And that's a key phrase that we're going to need to think about right now, evolve in mind and body. We're going to be talking about something today that I think we kind of take for granted. And as we get older, we don't put importance upon, kind of lessen its importance in our lives. And it's something we need throughout our life. It might start off heavy when we're young, and as we age, we don't worry about it as much. Might not feel that we need it as much, but let me get to the point. We are talking about knowledge, and it's important to hunger for knowledge and have a thirst, a curiosity. And I'm going to share some reports and thoughts about that. There's actually two sides to this. One's a very literal talking about knowledge, and then others, the other side might be, I guess, more theoretical, but still vital and important. So, in doing some research on this side, I didn't really think of it on this side when I first was going to talk about this subject, but basically, knowledge significantly boosts longevity. So that got me thinking significantly. That's an important thing. And again, I talk about Healthspan on here on this channel, and we talk a lot of things are physical. But as we get older, I know of individuals, family members, and others having difficulties cognitively and dealing with dementia, Alzheimer's. So many things that affect people as they get older, where we can't take these things for granted that we're 30, 40, or 50 and everything's working fine and it's just going to continue that way. It doesn't work that way physically and it doesn't work that way cognitively. So, knowledge is important. And the first aspect I want to discuss is dealing with higher education. Individuals who have higher education, in whatever form you're thinking of that, they have a lower mortality, as well as they make better health choices, they have greater resources. And when you look at the flip side, those with low health literacy, that harms longevity. So it's a key factor that goes along with lifestyle, social ties, exercise, diet, sleep, and purpose. So knowing how to live healthy, make healthy decisions, they call it health literacy, and IQ both extend life by influencing behaviors and facilitating better adaptation. And that's what this report talks about. So, in a very literal sense, from our schooling, our childhood education, maybe college education, whatever the case may be, learning, and even our IQ all can play out through the course of life regarding our quality of life and our longevity. In this report, it talks about how each extra year of education reduces death risk by about 2%, comparing that to diet benefits. So, again, it's not something that we can kind of just sweep under the rug or take for granted. There's actual correlations and things that are studied to see what's the case. And when we're educated, we educate ourselves in these areas dealing with diet and healthier lifestyles, and it makes a world of difference. So it's crucial. Low literacy is linked to worse outcomes, hospitalizations, and mortality. So, again, in a very literal sense, knowledge is important. Then, for cognitive function, our, a higher childhood IQ is associated with living longer. So, it's important. Think of that for our children, grandchildren. We want them to educate as much as possible or to get the knowledge, help them to grow in that. And then also we talk about purpose. That's a vital part of our health span. Got to have purpose in life. Well, knowledge helps us to navigate the uncertainties that we face in our lives, and we learn new skills and that helps us to find meaning and improves the quality of our life and extends it. So, in a very literal way, knowledge contributes to longevity. Now, some of the key things as we talk about lifestyle choices, I mentioned this in another video. There's about 20 to 25% of individuals who smoke, vape, use e-cigarettes, and these are all areas that are known to be unhealthy, reduce longevity, lifespan, health span. So again, knowledge interplays with making good decisions in our lives, and they're knowledge-driven factors. Also, social connections, knowing how to build strong relationships, provide support, reduces stress, and is a powerful aspect in our lives as well. And then mental health. I know through my life, I've known individuals dealing with all sorts of different mental issues, emotional issues, depression, all some variation of it. And again, the quality of life is not great in those situations. Some are medicated, some are heavily medicated. It affects their social relationships, how others view them. So we need to prioritize our mental well-being. Some of those things obviously aren't out of a person's choice or they're out of their hands and they have to be medicated. But as we go through life and talking about cognitive benefits, we want to have good mental well-being and emotional well-being as we get older for quality of life, deeper life engagement, and it all contributes to our lifespan. So we don't want to underestimate how important it is to have mental well-being and how many people are struggling. Well, we can try to help best as can and give advice, give consideration to these individuals, and trying to help them educate as much as possible. So that's one side of the story. As I said, a very literal way, knowledge. But another aspect is as we get older, especially right now, there is more knowledge than ever when it comes to exercise, diet, sleep, relationships, stress, so many things. But if we're not curious to take it in, what benefit is it going to be? So we need a curiosity of a child that's been mentioned before. Jim Rohn, I talk about a lot. He's talked about that. We need to be curious like a child and ask questions. We just don't want to go through the day and we have our routine, and it doesn't help us to change. Knowledge helps us to make changes. So being curious and taking in knowledge about these areas, sometimes we can just make simple tweaks in our lives that can make a world of difference when it comes to our well-being and our health. And we need to take 100% responsibility on that. And if we're getting our information here from YouTube or Instagram, there's some valid things that come out. I take a lot of it from different individuals that I listen to. There's some of their research, but we need to compare it with things what we know, and we need to curiously do our own investigation of it to see if it's something that we're going to apply in our lives. But as I said, right now we're living in a time that's unprecedented when it comes to these things, and now with AI coming on the scene as well, you could research any topic and go as deep as you want and get a number of answers, but ultimately it falls on you and I of what we're going to do with that information. But definitely hunger for knowledge. That's what I try to encourage you to do. And even for our cognitive health and well-being as we get older, we've talked many times about maybe learning a musical instrument, try to learn a new language, a new skill, a new hobby, all things that get our minds thinking and working. And as we do that, it's going to affect our intelligence, our knowledge, and it's going to affect us in a positive way, give us motivation and purpose, mental agility, all things that are great for our health span as we move forward. So, are you hungry to learn? Again, just trying to get through the day sometimes. That's the last thing on somebody's mind. Um, we're just trying to make ends meet, trying to do some good things to keep ourselves healthy, our families, trying to have a little bit of fun here and there. So the timing factor, I get that, and I definitely empathize with everyone in that case because I'm in the same boat. I've mentioned this recently. There's so many things that we would like to do, maybe we even know we should do, but the time and energy to accomplish them is hard. But here, when it comes to knowledge, be curious, read articles, and listen to people, and watch things on YouTube and other places, and try to take that in. It's going to benefit our brains and our health span in the long run. So that's what I wanted to talk about today. That there's so much available. We can't just go by hearsay. We'll hear somebody say something, and it's not going to have a lasting impact on us to make a change. But if we study it, we look into it, we dig into it a little bit, then we might be inspired or motivated to make some kind of change in our life, our diet, our exercise routine, and other areas that are important. So, hunger for knowledge, be curious. That'll help you to evolve in mind and body. Then we'll also exert ourselves and we'll elevate our health and our health span. And we'll truly look forward to a better future that way and a better tomorrow. So I appreciate you watching. Please hit the like button and hit the subscribe button if you're not a subscriber. And we look forward to talking to you soon.